Welcome, Tailgate Legends, to week one of the motherfucking playoffs. Let's go. 2023, here we are. It has been an awesome year. It's been a fucking crazy year. Lot of parity in this league right now. I think right now there is more parity in this league than there ever has been, and it's not even close. So many teams had a chance to make the playoffs. Like every team except for Prusky's team had a chance to make the playoffs with, a couple weeks left in the year. It's something that like you really want to see that in every league that you're in, right? Like none of us like runaway playoff teams every single year. And it's like, oh, well, these 4 or 5 teams are going to make it, and these 4 or 5 teams aren't going to make it, and that's how it is every year, and blah, 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 blah. Not this year. This year, everybody but Prusky participated, so everybody at least gets a participation trophy, except for Prusky. No, so I got a good video for you today. I hope. I think all I'm really going to do is go through the matchups, but I'm just going to get a little more in depth with the matchups in my projections. And before we kick that off, I did create a new league poll. I guess I didn't even realize I didn't create a single league poll this year, so I did just create one. And it was just who is NFL MVP this year, who you think it should be. Which I think, right now is like a really interesting debate. Again, you don't have any runaway winner. There's nobody that really has gone out there and, throwing 50 touchdowns, right? Like the NFL MVP award is generally a best quarterback award, I guess. It is. So my MVP actually would be Tyreek Hill. And my reasoning is, like I said, like no quarterback has really just run away with it. You know what I mean? Like normally you have Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, a few years ago. You always have a quarterback that's just putting up these crazy numbers. You know what I mean? That's not really the case this year. I mean, I know Dak Prescott's playing really well right now. Brock Purdy is playing really well right now, but they're not putting up these like crazy numbers. The only person, in my opinion, putting up crazy numbers is Tyreek Hill, and I think I do think he's the most valuable player. If you take Tyreek Hill off the Dolphins, they might not even make the playoffs. They probably won't make the playoffs, and right now they're like, I don't know, a top 3 seed right now. And they're really good. And Tyreek Hill, I truly believe, is the engine that runs that entire offense. And I know it's hard to see that because he's not the quarterback. He doesn't touch the ball every play. But dude is just like, he is a game changer. We all know it. He's a game changer. He, man, like, can you imagine lining up as a DB, lining up against Tyreek Hill, even having the superpowers that some of these DBs have with these crazy speed and athleticism? Dude, I would be scared shitless to face Tyreek Hill ever in anything, probably. You know what I mean? So, I think that Tyreek Hill is the NFL MVP. I think he should be right now. I think he's gonna pass 2,000 yards this year, and but we'll see what happens. It's going to go to a fucking quarterback. It always does. And then Offensive Rookie of the Year. I was going to make a poll for that, for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I went with MVP instead. Offensive Rookie of the Year is obviously going to be C.J. Stroud, which is why I went with NFL MVP instead. Dude, C.J. Stroud is so good. Like, that dude he's the guy. He's that guy. You know what I mean? And I've talked about being that guy. I've talked about it a few times in my videos. There's just some people that you just know they're the guy. I think I said in my rookie video, CJ Stroud is going to be the best quarterback in this draft class. And I was pretty confident in that. And it was just because, like, dude, I know that, a couple other quarterbacks have high ceilings. I get it. You know what I mean? And some, some other quarterbacks could be really good out of this class, but I don't know. I just watched CJ Stroud play, and it's like, man, he's that dude. He is that dude. I'm gonna get going here. Going to live scoring here. Okay, here we are. So, actually, let me go through the playoff brackets first. So in the winners bracket, we have me against Lemke, and then whoever wins that game plays Yacht. Yacht got the number 1 seed, and then Burns plays Whitey, and the winner of that game plays Lemmywinks. Which, by the way, Lemish, great job getting the number 1 seed. Never thought a million years that you would have, but you did, and very, very, very impressive. Very impressive. So kudos. And then in the other bracket, the losers bracket, you have Landon playing Roofer, and the winner of that game plays Prusky. God, I don't know if Prusky's team is good enough to win a game. I mean, obviously you never know, but and then you have Boggs playing Shear, and then the winner of that game plays Sam and Co. So that's what we're looking at for the playoffs here. We have 4 bye weeks this week. That means half the amount of games, 75% of the amount of games. So let's get into it. All right, first matchup. Kick it off with mine. Tainted Love against Live Laugh Olave. So it's me against Lemke. This is, in my opinion, the only matchup where I think there is going to be a clear winner, and that is Lemke. I have dealt with an insane amount of injuries this year. There's no doubt in my mind, I have dealt with more injuries this year than anybody ever has in this league. It's fucking insane. Every week, it's like 2-3 guys out every single week. And here I am just trading for people, and it's like a revolving door, and I'm just wasting goddamn fucking picks, you know what I mean, on players, and just so they can come onto my team to get hurt, you know what I mean? So I got a real sketchy lineup here, and as sketchy as my lineup is, it's only going to get sketchier because I have 2 players in my lineup right now that I know aren't going to play. And I don't know who the fuck I'm going to put in my lineup. Like, I think I'm going to have to play 2 tight ends, Dallas Goedert and Isaiah Likely. I'm almost positive I'm going to be playing 2 tight ends. But let's roll into it here. So first we have Jordan Love, and he plays the Buccaneers against Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is going up against the Cowboys. So I like my matchup, and I don't like his matchup, but I like his quarterback more than I like my quarterback. So the edge goes to Josh Allen there. Josh Allen, I feel like Josh Allen's going to have a really good game against the Cowboys. Then I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who I undoubtedly have to start because everybody else on my team is fucking hurt, against DeAndre Swift. And DeAndre Swift is going up against the Seahawks. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going up against the Patriots. I'm giving the nod to Swift there, no doubt. Then I have Bijan against the Panthers. He has Kyren Williams against the Commanders, and I'm giving that to Kyren Williams. Bijan has been, really good for me this year, but Kyren Williams has been better. He's been one of the best running backs this year when he's been on the field. So, giving the nod to Kyren Williams. Then I have Nico Collins in my lineup, who is not going to play. Even if he does play, CJ Stroud is not going to play. So it's like, well, what if Nico Collins plays, but CJ Stroud does not play? Then what do you do? Well, in this scenario, I still have to start Nico Collins because I have nobody else to start. So that's what happens. And then he has Brandon Ayuk. Obviously going Brandon Ayuk there. Yeah, Ayuk against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals haven't been terrible, but Ayuk's so good. The Niners are so good. Um, and then I have Stephon Diggs. He has A.J. Brown. Again, he's got A.J. Brown against the Seahawks, and the Seahawks haven't been that great this year. I have Stephon Diggs against the Cowboys, and Stephon Diggs was on a heater, but he's on like um, a three-game downer, right? He's given me 3 duds in a row, so who fucking knows? If Josh Allen has a good game, the only saving grace for me would be if a lot of that went to Stephon Diggs. That's probably my only chance at having a chance. But even then, I still don't have a chance. So, and then I have Christian Watson against the Buccaneers. He has DK Metcalf. Well, DK Metcalf is against the Eagles, so he's got a lot of players in that game. He's got three players in that game. Well, I like DK Metcalf more than Christian Watson because, again, Christian Watson ain't going to fucking play. If Christian Watson is playing, and he has shown now, dude, Jordan Love and Christian Watson, when Christian Watson is healthy, when Jordan Love is playing good, holy fuck, those two are really good together. Really, really good together. So I think moving forward after this season, I am genuinely super excited to have Jordan Love and Christian Watson. I am extremely excited for that. But I'm not going to have Christian Watson this week. There's no way they're going to play him, right? Like the Packers are always so conservative, especially with Christian Watson and that hamstring. And rightfully so. They should be. I'd rather Christian Watson get healthy, stay healthy. But we'll see. And then I have Isaiah Likely, and he has Kyle Pitts. And I guess I'll give the nod to Isaiah Likely, but they're tight ends, and Kyle Pitts could catch a touchdown, and Isaiah Likely could catch a touchdown. I mean, Kyle Pitts could go for 50 yards and a tutter, and Isaiah Likely could have a donut. You know what I mean, or vice versa. So, the tight end position is so volatile. I mean, you don't really know what you're getting week in and week out. And then I have Younghoe Koo. He has Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker will probably outscore him, but you never know. And then I have the Saints D against the Giants. He has the Colts D against the Steelers. Again, that probably is pretty close. And then, you look at the bench. I have nobody on my bench. I have Kareem Hunt. I might be able to play, but Kareem Hunt is also questionable and probably isn't going to play. Jonathan Taylor is not going to play. Christian Kirk obviously is on IR. He's not going to play. I have Dallas Goedert, so I might have to play 2 tight ends. Otherwise, I'm playing Jonathan Mingo again. And Jonathan Mingo, it doesn't even look that bad, and he's getting a ton of targets, but Bryce Young is fucking terrible. Bryce Young is bad, really bad. Jonathan Mingo is playing like almost 100% of snaps, getting 8 to 10 targets every single week, and his line every week is like 3 catches for 30 yards. You know what I mean? So I think Jonathan Mingo moving forward, if he and Bryce Young can get on the same page, Jonathan Mingo moving forward is going to be really good, I think. So I'm definitely going with Lemke here. My lineup is sketchy right now, and it's only going to get sketchier. So what are you going to do? But that's all right. It's been a weird season for me. I had a lot of fun this season. I made a ton of trades this year, a ton of trades. I already regret a few of them. But we'll see. On to the next. Here we go with Burns. More rice hurts my little tank Bigsby, so I use a walker against Chase and Lamb. So Burns against Whitey here. This is a really interesting matchup. So we have this is interesting. Jalen Hurts up against the Seahawks for Burns, and Whitey has Russell Wilson. Obviously, Justin Herbert is out for the year. Yeah, it sucks. You know what I mean? It sucks. But you know what? I lost fucking Joe Burrow in the first quarter. Joe Burrow and Mark Andrews in the first quarter of a Thursday night fucking game up against Landon. Like, I lost a matchup one week in the first quarter of the Thursday night fucking game. So I don't really feel sorry for you. You know, it is what it is. But you got Russell Wilson against Detroit, and Detroit's defense has not been that good lately. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. Jalen Hurts has had some good games, but he's put up some stinkers too. So if Russell Wilson outscores Jalen Hurts, it would not surprise me. But I am giving the nod to Jalen Hurts here. I am. But it's closer than we think it is, I think. Maybe. I think it is. And then we have Devon Achane against Jerome Ford. You know, again, that's tough. Devon Achane is going up against the Jets, one of the best defenses in the NFL. Jerome Ford is going up against the Bears, and the Bears' defense hasn't been bad as of late, so you really never know. And, you know, if Kareem Hunt doesn't play, Jerome Ford is going to get a ton of work. So I don't know. That could be really close, but at the same time, Devon Achane, he could bust one run. And like Jerome Ford ain't that guy. He's not that guy. He's more of a volume guy. I'm not saying he can't break a run. I'm not saying that. But Devon Achane, one run. So all he needs, one carry to the house. Let's go. 50 yards out, 80 yards out, 20 yards out, doesn't matter. Devon Achane only needs one carry. Jerome Ford, he's more of a volume guy, but he's going to get the volume. So that's what makes it so fun. Is Devon Achane going to break a run? I don't know. Jerome Ford's going to get the work. I know that for a fact. So I don't know. I mean, I'll call that a tie right now, but you know, Jerome Ford's going to be winning that matchup until he isn't, right? Until Devon Achane just takes one. Unless he doesn't. I don't know. And then Travis Etienne against Derrick Henry. So Derrick Henry is against the Texans. CJ Stroud is out. Nico Collins is out. I think Derrick Henry's going to get a ton of work. And Etienne has been good, but he hasn't been super, super great this year. So I'm going to give the nod to Derrick Henry, actually, in that one. And Etienne he's up against the Ravens. The Ravens' defense is really good this year. So next we have Kenneth Walker against the Eagles. And then he's got Jamar Chase against the Vikings. That's a tough one, too. I know Kenneth Walker's been pretty banged up, and Charbonnet's been getting a little more work recently. So I don't know. I'm calling that one a wash. And then we have Cooper Kupp against CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's against the Bills, and the Bills' defense is pretty good. Cooper Kupp's against the Redskins, though. I'm going to give that to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's been really good this year. Cooper Kupp has been okay when he's been on the field, but it's like so boom or bust this year for some reason. So, yeah. And then Deebo Samuel for fucking Whitey up against Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is against the Patriots, and the Chiefs' offense has been fucking terrible. And then Deebo Samuel's against the Cardinals. Definitely taking Deebo there. Dude, Deebo's been so good. So good. So Whitey definitely got a good lineup there. And then we have Jake Ferguson for Burns against TJ Hawkinson. And I'm going to give that to Hawk, but yeah, like Jake Ferguson's had a few pretty good games too. And then they do have kickers. 49ers D against the Cardinals. Okay. Ravens D against the Jaguars. So that might be, dude, those defenses might be the deciding factor. Like one defense might take something to the house and one might not. And that very well could just be the deciding factor there. So I know that Burns is favored to win. I'm actually taking Whitey here. I'm definitely taking Whitey. Unless Jalen Hurts, puts up a huge game, huge week. I don't know. I just think that Whitey has a better team. I just think that. So I'm definitely going Whitey here. Um, yeah. All right. So yeah, that's that. Um, okay. So now I'm moving on to Ricky 2000 against Cheeseheads with Attitude. So Roofer against Landon. So we have Baker Mayfield against the Pack. And the Pack's defense, right, makes Tommy DeVito look like Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes look like Tommy DeVito. That's what they do, you know. Um, Baker Mayfield, and then Landon's got Derek Carr. And Derek Carr has been not great. So I'm giving that to Baker, hands down. But you know what? I mean, if you're Landon, I know the Bears play the Browns. Like, I get it. But I think you got to play Fields, right? For his upside, I think. It's tough. That's tough. It's a tough call, but Derek Carr has not been that good, though. So, I don't know. I would probably take the upside of Justin Fields, but that's just me. And then you got Saquon against Ezekiel Elliott. And Saquon's against the Saints. Zeke is against the Chiefs. And I guess, I'm going Saquon there, but Zeke has not looked that bad. And then Rashad White against Joe Mixon. Rashad White is against the Packers. Joe Mixon's against the Vikings. You know, one thing I don't like doing, and, you know, I'm sure Roofer just doesn't have, you know, a ton of options. But one thing I don't like doing is starting a quarterback and running back from the same team, unless that quarterback throws to that running back a lot, which Baker Mayfield does, I think, throw to Rashad White an okay amount. But Rashad White's been pretty good this year, very underrated. So I'm going to call that a wash. I am actually going to call that a wash. Joe Mixon's been getting a good amount of work, but so is Rashad White. And I think Rashad White might outscore Joe Mixon. But for now, I'll call it a wash. Then we have Odell against Romeo Dobbs. Odell is against the Jaguars. Dobbs against the Buccaneers. This is a funky matchup because Odell did have a good week, but Odell in general just doesn't do that much. And surprisingly, neither does Romeo Dobbs. I tried trading for Dobbs because I'm like, well, if Christian Watson is out, I can trade for Dobbs. Dobbs hasn't been that good in fantasy football. And I don't know. I don't know if it's a Dobbs thing or if it's a Jordan Love thing. I don't know. Obviously, I watch every Packer game, and it feels like they should be trying to get Dobbs the ball more, but they just don't. And I'm sure there's a reason, right? So Dobbs ends up with 2-3 catches a game and maybe a touchdown and maybe not, you know? So it's weird. I'm going to call that one a wash, though. If anything, though, I'd give it to Odell. Next, we have Puka Nacua against Chris Godwin. And I'm giving this one to Puka Nacua off the bat. Chris Godwin, it just isn't seeing a lot of targets. Puka Nacua, maybe he puts up a dud, but maybe he puts up 13 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown. You know, I know for a fact Chris Godwin is not doing that. Puka Nacua at least has a chance to. And then last, we have Jalen Waddle against Deontay Johnson, and I'm calling that one a wash. You know, they're playing the Jets, or Jalen Waddle is playing the Jets again. The Jets have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Deontay Johnson, you know, he'll get a few catches and maybe he'll take one to the house. I don't know. Then you have the Chiefs D against the Patriots, Falcons D against Carolina. Both very good matchups. So that could be a big factor too. Yeah, good matchups. And we'll see. Maybe the lineups change here. I'm just going off of what is in people's lineups right now. Last one. We have Boggs. Country Roads take Mahomes against Shear. That is Evan Shear. This is going to be a fun matchup. Whoever wins this gets to play Sam and Co. For the right to play again for the number 1 overall pick. So we have Patrick Mahomes for Boggs, Dak Prescott for Shear. And Patty Mahomes plays the Patriots. The Patriots have a pretty good defense. Dak Prescott plays the Bills. Dak's been playing pretty good. I'm going to give that one to Dak. I don't know if it's even going to be close. Um, yeah, that's how bad Mahomes has been playing, and Dak has been playing significantly better. Then we have James Cook against Jahmyr Gibbs. James Cook for Boggs, Jahmyr Gibbs for Sheer. I'm going to give that one to James Cook. Jahmyr Gibbs plays the Broncos, and the Broncos defense has been really good. I have the Broncos defense, and I might start them just because they've been putting up so many fucking points for me. I have the Saints matchup against the Panthers. I can't remember who the Saints are playing, but they have a really good matchup. Maybe it is the Panthers, but yeah, but the Broncos defense has been putting up so many fucking points for me, so I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to go with James Cook. Jahmyr Gibbs is a really good player, but playing such a good defense. Next, we have Breece Hall against Alexander Madison. Is Alexander Madison even playing? Oh, okay, so he's questionable. So maybe not going to have Madison. If he doesn't have Madison, he's got James Conner. James Conner's on his bench. Alec Pierce, Hunter Renfrow, Trey McBride is on his bench. So he could go 2 tight ends too. Okay. So Breece Hall against somebody. But again, Breece Hall plays the Dolphins. So who knows? Just fucking offense is terrible. They had one good week and everybody's like, oh, they figured it out. Like, no, get off of that shit. Then we have Alvin Kamara against Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen has been ruled out, I believe. I'm going to double check that. But Keenan Allen has been ruled out. So Keenan Allen will not be playing. So whoever Alvin Kamara is going up against, I don't even care who it is. I'm going Alvin Kamara. Then we have DJ Moore against Josh Downs. I'm giving that to DJ Moore. George Pickens against Drake London. Dude, Drake London looked pretty good last week. Finally. I'm giving that one to Drake London. Dude, George Pickens is like, I don't know, he's kind of a fucking baby, right? He's obviously really good, but it's like, dude, I cannot watch you sit on the sideline and fucking throw a tantrum and pout all game, every game. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, get out there and play some fucking ball, dude. Like, quit being a little bitch. God. Then we have Dalton Kincaid against George Kittle. Dude, George Kittle's been playing so good. So I'm giving that to Kittle. God, I think it's going to be close. Dolphins defense against the Jets, though. Ugh. Texans defense against the Titans. Yeah, definitely going Dolphins defense. Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, I'm going Boggs here. I think Boggs has the better team. I think he's got a more consistent team. There's a couple guys on Evans' team that I know they're going to put up duds. And there's nobody on Boggs' team where I look at it and I'm like, yeah, he's putting up less than 5 points or less than 8 points. You know what I mean? Like, nah, everybody's like pretty good here. And then I don't know what Evans going to do. He's got Alexander Madison and Keenan Allen in his lineup, and neither are going to play. So, yeah, he's going to have to rock James Conner against the Niners, or, I mean, I don't think you can start Dalvin Cook. You know, Alec Pierce, I guess. Hunter Renfrow, maybe. Trey McBride. Trey McBride is the first person that I would put in my lineup. He's been getting so much work. Yeah, so that's that. So if that's how it plays out, we would see Lemke against Yacht next week. We would see Whitey against Lemish next week. Dude, right? Everybody wants to see that. Everybody wants to see the fucking band broken up, playing each other in the semifinals. Let's go, dude. I know I want to see it. That'd be so fucking slick. Oh, that'd be awesome. And then in the losers bracket, if my predictions are right, we would see Roofer against Shit the Bed Fred next week, and we would see Boggs against Sam and Co. next week. That's all I got for you. Happy playoffs. I wish everybody luck. I hope all your players stay healthy. I know mine won't. And I will talk to you next week, boys.